Greetings. Last time we talked about wounds of rejection, judgment, overwhelm, loss, and how they relate to demonic influence, which is very real. Okay, and then today we're going to get into more of the wounds, and then we will talk about accountability and how we can actually leverage it in our spiritual battle against these demons. So the wound of distrust is the root program of what if it goes wrong? We're primarily feeling fear. This comes right as we overcome the wound of loss. We typically go into the wound of distrust. So our defense mechanism, if we're overcompensating with distrust, is to be a daredevil, survivalist, adrenaline junkie, doomsday prepper, and a risk taker. Right? If we're being avoidant, it's we're superstitious. We got phobias, anxiety, paranoia, insomnia. We're very risk averse, and we got stress-related disorders. Right? Approach to challenges are to fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. Okay, and if we're gonna heal, we're gonna ask, what if the unknown future is desirable? Okay? And so, affirmations that have helped is some of them are, what if everything works out? I always know what to do in the moment. What if I can trust them? Anything is possible. Now, when we're finished healing from the wound of distrust, we typically go into the wound of inadequacy, where we are operating out of the root program, I want or I need, and our primary emotion is desire. And the defense mechanism, if we are overcompensating with inadequacy, is addictions, greed, vanity, attention-seeking, preoccupation with sex, histrionic personality disorder, and Munchausen syndrome. You can look those up for yourself if you'd like. I don't have notes on them right now. Now, the defense mechanism, if we're being avoidant in inadequacy, is an eating disorder, repressed desires, body dysmorphia, secretive indulgences, and unsure of ourselves. And our approach to challenges are aversion to delayed gratification. We got spoiled tantrums happening, and we'll have substance abuse taking place. Now, healing, we'll have, we want to be angry for change. We want to be tired of wanting. We want to have expectations for things to improve. Now, affirmations to help with this is, I'm tired of wanting. I will not accept less. I am ready for change. I'm tired of talking about it. I'm ready to take action. And I will break free. When we're typically done with that, we move into the wound of violation, where the root program is I expect. And our primary emotion that we're feeling is anger. So our defense mechanism, if we're overcompensating in the wound of violation, is to be aggressive, violent, defensive, domineering, power-hungry, argumentative, and combative. If we're avoidant, then we're passive-aggressive, bitter, resentful, spiteful, complaining, manipulative. And our approach to challenges is to put others in their place. With violence, aggressiveness, we'll be yelling, we grit our teeth, and we're very resentful. But if we're going to heal, then we will surrender our expectations, and we'll take pride in our composure and our actions. And affirmations to help with this are that I respect myself and others. True power handles challenging circumstances with composure. I take pride in my behavior. Okay? Now, I want to mention, lately, I have been dealing with my own demonic influences, and they have kept me in a state of the wound of violation. So I have a personal, you can see this in my recent Facebook post. I have a personal stake in overcoming the wound of violation, which led to the creation of these two videos. Now, when we move out of the wound of violation, typically we go into the wound of insecurity, where the root program is, I am superior. And then our primary emotion is pride. Now, our defense mechanism, if we're overcompensating with insecurity, is where you have a denial of our vulnerabilities, an inflated ego, grandiosity. We're an embellisher or very exaggerative, and we've got a superiority complex. We're very arrogant and stubborn. If we're avoidant, then we're entitled, we're lazy, we're delusional, we're spoiled, we're all talk, no action, and we've got a perpetual whining. I also have a personal stake in the wound of insecurity, but I'm going to show with my own testimony how accountability helped me over and out of this. But accountability is not where it ends, and I'll show you that with our expert testimony here as well. But if we're going to approach the challenges we're related to the wound of insecurity, then we're going to, our approach to challenges are denial, competitiveness, reverting to lower themes when we're triggered, and we'll complain often. And if we're going to heal, then we're going to have the humility to face our vulnerabilities with courage. And some affirmations to help with this is, there is no competition to be me. I face my insecurities with courage. Admitting my weakness is my greatest strength, and we can all win. So those are the vulnerabilities. Those are the wounds that if the demons had their way, they would keep us perpetually in a cycle of all of those wounds. Now, that is typically how it flows from rejection to insecurity, but at any time, you can be suffering from any one of those wounds. Now, when we recognize it, that's one way out, okay? As we heal, the first step to healing is taking that accountability. And so the root program there is self-honesty, and the primary emotion we're feeling there is courage, okay? And so the triggers that can keep us stuck in accountability are the duties to fulfill. We got wrongs to right, we got problems to solve. But we are gonna ask ourselves, are we being accountable? This will help us to gain that perspective, right? And ultimately what it's working on is humility. We'll take a self-inventory, we'll face past defeats and shortfalls, and we'll admit our past denials, facing discomfort and delaying gratification. And the physical manifestations might be, muscle development. We'll get that inner strength and discipline. We'll improve our health, we'll have positive posture, and we'll increase our confidence, of course. And our approach to challenges is to do whatever it takes with honor and grace and integrity to achieve the outcome. And the transcendence of the accountability is to stop finding things to contend with in the first place, where our thoughts and values are, our word is our bond. We fulfill our duties, we fight for what we believe is correct and just, and we live with honor, and we protect innocence and freedom. Now, the affirmations to ascend are, there is no one to contend with. I have no enemies. The world will handle itself. Things will resolve themselves naturally over time. Everyone is on their own path, and I trust all is well. So that is accountability. Now, I wanted to mention, again, some things about accountability. So here we go. We can go to jerrymarzinski.com and we can meet Jerry Marzinski. This is a man who is an expert in psychotherapy. He's a retired licensed psychotherapist, and he did an incredible amount of discovery and research regarding schizophrenia and what it actually is. It turns out that schizophrenics are not having hallucinations when they hear voices. They are being attacked by real, living, invisible entities conscious of what they are doing. So Jerry, on top of his excellent research, has also curated a wonderful blog of other people's testimonies. So from the main page, you can just simply scroll down, and here's the the different links. You click on blog, you can scroll down. We're going to talk about this one here in a second, Demons and Eyewitness Account. I want to highlight Black Toads, a wonderful read, and this one deeply impacted my life. There's a link in there that we need to talk about real briefly, but Ted Pike and his wife, they were bringing the reality of what Israel is up to, and his wife seriously suffered for it. So that was the link I wanted to show, and you can check that out. Running out of time, so I got to be quick. This is the Demons and Eyewitness Account blog post. It's a book by Judy Gregerson, and it talks about the testimony of Howard Pittman, a Baptist minister who suffered death from an aneurysm, and he gives his testimony of how he was actually able to be revived. So he saw heaven, he saw Satan, he saw all the demons, and he got a good list of what's going on. This whole article is fantastic. One thing that stood out to me is over 90% of all demon activity in humans is limited to those humans who are at or over the level of accountability. In other words, they sinned and are in violation. When demon activity is involved in those under the level of accountability, it is done so on a permission basis. Satan asks God for permission. In the next video, I'm just going to tie all of this up in a nice tidy bow with a conclusion. So check it out.